Hyundai and Kia have invested billions in the US, building state-of-the-art factories and creating thousands of jobs for American workers, boosting local economies. Their ambitious goal is to build cars where they sell them, integrating deeply into the fabric of the American auto industry. But now, they're facing a perfect storm of problems that threaten their operations. Recent US government actions have created a challenging and unpredictable business environment. Tough new immigration policies have led to factory raids, detaining workers and disrupting operations. Ongoing trade disputes and looming tariff threats are making business increasingly difficult, risking higher prices and potentially damaging their hard-earned value reputation among consumers. These mounting pressures are forcing Hyundai and Kia to reconsider their American strategy and future investments. They invested heavily in states like Georgia and Alabama, creating jobs and opportunities, but now find themselves targeted by the same government that once welcomed them with open arms. Executives are questioning whether to continue investing in a country where the rules can change overnight, affecting their long-term plans. The stakes are high, not just for the companies themselves, but also for the American workers who rely on these jobs and the communities that depend on the economic stability these factories provide. As political and economic pressures mount, Hyundai and Kia must make critical decisions that could reshape their global operations and strategies. What happens next will send a powerful message to other foreign companies about the risks and rewards of investing in the US, potentially influencing future international business decisions. Hyundai's troubles became real during a recent immigration raid at one of its US factories. What started as a typical workday quickly turned into chaos, as the company found itself at the center of a national controversy. Federal agents stormed the facility, detaining hundreds of workers, many of them South Korean specialists who had been brought in for their expertise. The suddenness of the raid left employees stunned and confused, unsure of what would happen next. The raid sent shockwaves through the company and all the way back to South Korea, damaging trust and creating a climate of fear among both local and international staff. Families worried about loved ones and rumors spread quickly through the workforce. The US government's mixed signals, welcoming foreign investment but cracking down on immigration, have left companies like Hyundai in a bind. Executives are caught between the need to comply with complex regulations and the pressure to deliver results. Getting work visas for skilled engineers is harder than ever, with stricter scrutiny and longer wait times. Some firms have taken risks to keep projects on track, sometimes bending the rules just to meet deadlines and avoid costly delays. After the raid, construction halted and business travel was suspended, paralyzing operations. Production lines sat idle, and key meetings were canceled, costing the company millions and putting future investments in jeopardy. The incident created a chilling effect, making foreign workers feel like targets and damaging the trust essential for business. Many began to question their future in the US, and morale across the plant plummeted. For Hyundai, it was a public relations disaster, raising questions about the safety of foreign professionals in the US. The company faced tough questions from the media and had to reassure both employees and investors. The event forced Hyundai and others to reevaluate the risks of operating in America. Boardrooms filled with tense discussions about compliance, risk management, and the future of their US operations. The promise of economic opportunity now comes with a new, unsettling political danger. For many global companies, the American dream is starting to look more uncertain than ever before. The Hyundai raid sent a clear warning to the global business community. Foreign companies now see the US as unpredictable, inviting investment, but disrupting operations and detaining employees. This political risk is causing some South Korean firms to pause American projects and hesitate to send employees. The trust between companies and the US is eroding, making executives question whether to invest billions in new factories. Modern manufacturing relies on global expertise. Without visas for key specialists, projects stall or fail. America's hardline immigration stance is clashing with the realities of global business. If the US is seen as unstable or hostile, foreign investment could slow dramatically. America's reputation as a safe place to do business is at stake. Hyundai's experience is now a cautionary tale for other global firms. The long-term consequences for the US economy could be severe if this perception spreads. The flow of foreign money and jobs is not guaranteed. The world is watching closely. Beyond immigration, Hyundai and Kia face trade uncertainty. The threat of high tariffs on cars and parts creates massive instability. A 25% tariff could erase their competitive edge in the US market. Automakers can't plan prices or production with tariffs looming. Absorbing the cost destroys profits, passing it to consumers kills sales. Even US-built cars rely on imported parts, so tariffs drive up costs everywhere. The companies invested in America for open markets but now face the risk of a trade war. This uncertainty freezes business strategy and questions the value of the US market. The tariff tangle adds another layer of risk to their American operations. Immigration raids and tariff threats have put Hyundai's $26 billion US investment plans on shaky ground. Projects for new electric vehicle and battery factories are delayed as executives hesitate to move forward. Construction has slowed and key personnel face legal uncertainty. Delays mean lost jobs and postponed economic benefits for local communities. Companies need stability to commit to long-term projects, but recent US actions have shattered that confidence. Every decision is now re-evaluated. Is it wise to invest more in such an unpredictable climate? Promises from the government clash with actions that create chaos. Until there's more clarity, major investments like Hyundai's will remain in limbo. The future of American manufacturing hangs in the balance. Building new factories in the US faces another hurdle, a severe construction labor shortage. This shortage is not just a minor inconvenience, it is a significant barrier that affects the entire construction timeline and budget. The industry has long relied on foreign-born workers, but immigration crackdowns have shrunk the labor pool. These workers have been the backbone of construction, providing essential skills and labor. Contractors struggle to find enough workers, delaying projects and driving up costs. The lack of available labor means that projects that should take months are now taking years. In states like Georgia, where Hyundai is building, over 40% of construction workers are immigrants. This reliance on immigrant labor is crucial for meeting construction demands. When that workforce shrinks, the entire industry suffers. Projects are left incomplete, and the economic impact is felt across multiple sectors. Delays and rising labor costs make it more expensive to build anything, from factories to schools. This increase in costs is passed down to consumers and affects the overall economy. For Hyundai, trying to build a massive facility on a tight schedule, this shortage is a huge obstacle. The company faces the challenge of meeting deadlines while managing increased costs. The government wants to celebrate big investments, but its own policies make construction harder. These policies, while well-intentioned, have unintended consequences that hinder progress. The ambition to grow the economy is colliding with a policy that restricts the labor needed for that growth. This contradiction creates a bottleneck that is difficult to overcome. Grand plans are announced, but the work is slowed by a lack of people. The vision for growth is clear, but the means to achieve it are lacking. The contradiction is clear: investment is welcome, but the workforce to build it is missing. Without the necessary labor, these investments cannot reach their full potential. This bottleneck threatens to stall America's industrial ambitions. The future of construction and economic growth depends on finding solutions to this labor crisis. Hyundai and Kia aren't alone. The entire auto industry is in flux. Volkswagen recently delayed its new electric Golf due to production and budget issues, showing how tough the EV transition is. Every delay gives new competitors, like Chinese EV brands, a chance to gain ground. The race to dominate the EV market is global, and any misstep is costly. Tesla's Elon Musk doubled down, buying $1 billion of his own company's stock, signaling confidence despite headwinds. These stories show the industry's volatility and the high stakes for every automaker. Hyundai and Kia's US troubles are just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The future of driving is being reshaped by global competition, technology, and policy. Hyundai's ordeal raises a big question. Will America remain a top destination for foreign investment? For global corporations, predictability is everything. The Hyundai case is now a global case study in risk. Hyundai has reaffirmed its $26 billion US investment, but with new caution and a focus on legal compliance. If the US gains a reputation as risky or unreliable, companies may scale back or look elsewhere. Every factory not built in the US means fewer jobs and less growth. The government's response will send a message to the world: is America open for business or too unpredictable? The the answer will shape the flow of foreign capital for years to come. The stakes go far beyond one company or one factory. America's economic future is on the line. We are at a defining moment for American business. Hyundai and Kia's story is a stark example of politics colliding with economics. They brought jobs and investment, expecting stability, but found shifting policies and new risks. The US says it wants investment, but its actions create fear and instability. This contradiction forces companies into impossible positions and damages America's reputation as a reliable partner. Whether Hyundai pulls back or not, the trust has been shaken. Other foreign companies are watching and may decide the US is too risky. These investments drive job creation and economic growth. What happens next is critical, not just for cars or factories, but for America's relationship with the global economy. Will the US remain a beacon for international capital, or become a fortress viewed with suspicion? The challenges facing Hyundai and Kia are a test for America's future as an economic partner. The government's response will send a clear signal to the world. The stakes couldn't be higher.